of the week. Didn't actually see who won, didn't read the article, just saw that it was the best game of the week. So I thought, hey, I'll go back and at least cast this one game from that week before we move on to another season. I'm going to cast this game. It is Samson Khan versus KTs. It's going to be Turn here in the top left in purple versus Stats in the bottom left. So two very, very good players. Then after this, I'm going to go cast Samson Khan versus STX Seoul, my two favorite teams duking it out. So that's going to be the plan here today. And I'm really excited for this game. I mean, Stats and Turn have both been playing phenomenally this year. It's actually quite impressive. Stats is winning something like 60% of his games or 65% of his games right now in Pro League, and he plays basically every single series. And looking at it right now, it looks like he was 9-3 coming into this game. Yeah, he's 9-3 coming into this game in Pro League, which is phenomenal. So he's playing really, really well. And on the other hand, Turn has not lost yet in Pro League. He is 4-0, and he's beaten some really top-notch players. He has taken down Bogus, Best, Hydra, and Sun. So there's no cheap wins there. The worst player on that list is Sun. So you know he's doing some pretty good work over there. Taking down two Terran players, especially, or two Protosses in Best and Sun. Best particularly known as a great versus Terran player. So taking him down, looking really, really good. I think I actually saw that game. I think I actually saw Turn. Yeah, I saw Turn versus Best. That was a good game. I remember that game. Casted that even. So we definitely all saw that in there. And so here we go. This should be quite exciting. Two players that are basically on fire. And it looks like Stats is actually going to get the very, very early scout in here, is going to pick the correct direction. And on the other hand, Turn doesn't look to be sending out any sort of early scout or anything. He's not worried about any sort of proxies on this. This is going to be on Sniper Ridge, which is the map with the kind of reverse-looking swastika ridges in the middle of the map. That really lets you, as you start moving out to different ridges, you do start narrowing out the map and separating it into little corners. So they do have a lot of significance in your tactics that go on in this game. And Turn with a kind of, I mean, he's not walling in. It just looks really weird. His building placement is really weird. He just has a random supply depot next to I think he has a random supply depot going by a barracks for some reason, but it doesn't matter. Usually does not, that sort of thing does not come into play at all unless you're walling in. Your base placement is pretty standard stuff. Factory is coming up, and looks like nothing sneaky coming in from Turn either. No 12 necks, no proxies, no nothing so far. Just very standard things coming in this, but we do have a nice little manor pylon by Stats, and he's actually going to let that warp in. Yeah, he's actually going to let that warp in. It looks like, oh no, never mind, he did cancel it. For a second I thought he was gonna let that warp in, which you don't normally see, but it did look like he caught a couple of SCVs, so that was definitely ruining some of Turn's mining. So that was very nice. You don't actually see a whole lot of manor pylons anymore in professional StarCraft. Players are really good at stopping it, and they know every single place where a manor pylon can go down, and they're just so adept at making sure that there's always an SCV or always a probe in that spot. So that's just not a concern usually, but Stats able to get one off here in this game. Not likely to be too significant, but certainly a little bit of harassment, a little bit of an annoyance that is going down. And looks like Turn's actually throwing down a bunker as well. So he is going to be producing a vulture, throwing down a bunker at its natural expansion. So he's going to try and expand off of this one fact and just get out some vultures to maybe put on a little bit of pressure here to start, which is kind of an interesting start here to Turn's build. There is the vulture, and we do see the Nexus has gone down for Stats as well. So both players looking for more of an economic build in this game, going to take it into macro style, at least onto two bases. This game will not be ending early, that's for sure. Yeah, don't have enough gateways or anything out in order to end it early. And there's still operating off the one gateway, still operating off the one factory, so very standard stuff. And there is a probe on the ridge, and that is going to stop that vulture from getting up and getting a scout on that entire base. So really nice play there actually by putting that probe on. I think that was brilliant. And another probe by Stats, actually hiding behind the middle lines at the natural expansion of Turn, is going to sneak into the base and is going to get a scout on. So some really nice probe work here from Stats. And another manor pylon. So that's pretty cool. It looks like he caught like 4 SCVs in there too. 3 or 4 SCVs. That's really nice by Chinless Toss. Stats, that is really, really nice. I really like that play. Here come a couple Dragoons with range, and they are going to start peppering that bunker, actually forced to stop producing that command center so that way he can start repairing this bunker. So things going a little bit Stats is way here in this game right now. He is getting the shots off on that bunker. He is delaying that command center a little bit by that methodology, and he is also getting a very good scout on. That Manor Pylon did warp in and did manage to trap a few SCVs there for a while. So some good work going on here from Stats. On the other 4 stats as well, we do have the observatory almost finished, as well as a second gateway warping in as well. And Turn just feeling comfortable, macroing up here, hanging tight, and there is a tank, so Stats kind of needs to pull back here, but he's taking a lot of tank shots, so he actually takes some damage on one of those Dragoons, a little bit sloppy on his part, and 2 more racks is coming down here, so here comes Turn. He's going to go 3 racks with the factory as well, so it's going to be tanks and marines. This could be very, very interesting if that observer is going to be out pretty soon, though, so this should be... I actually think that Stats with the observer timing, this is going to be close. I think Stats can actually get an observer over there in time, that he may be able to prepare himself for this, for the marines that are going to be coming his way. I think if he can put down a support bay, possibly get a Reaver out pretty quickly, I think he'll actually be able to stop this if he's able to get that observer over there ASAP. Another barracks going down, so this is going to be 4 racks and just the just the 1 factory right now. Gateway coming up at the front, so he's going up to 4 gateways. Doesn't look like he's even looking at any more tech. No Citadel of a Dune, no Stargate, no nothing. Just the observatory is the nearest thing to tech that we have going on here. The observer is floating straight to Turn's base, and he is going to know within the next 30 seconds or so, he is going to know that there is all of these racks is being put down, and I think this is actually early enough. I think Stats definitely has a chance here to see this early enough. No Marines have been quite even finished out of any of these barracks, so he's going to have an opportunity here to prepare. He does see it all right now. You do see that observer moving, so you know that he knows, and a little bit, his eyes widen a little bit. There are 5th barracks! Are you kidding me, Turn? What are you doing? Oh my god, more barracks coming up here for Turn, and January laughing, she's like, alright, I told him to go racks and marine tank. I didn't think he was gonna put down this many barracks. That's pretty funny. I think January just like, okay, Turn, way to take what I told you and take it to the next level. Turn doesn't do anything like half-assed. He's all in. Like, if you remember his very first game ever against Bisu, he goes 2-fact, he almost kills Bisu, and then how does he transition out of it? Just keeps putting on more pressure. And then when that gets pushed back, what he does, he just keeps pushing. Turn just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. He is such like an all-in, like, I don't want to call him an all-in guy. That's like, it has a wrong connotation in StarCraft, but he's like, when he goes with the strategy, he goes for it. He doesn't, like, half-ass anything. I love it. It's so cool. And here comes Turn. He's actually going to attack Upper Ridge. There are some tanks here, so he is going to be able to siege up here. And he is going to take this ridge. He lost several Marines in the process, but he's going to take the ridge, and is going to be shooting down at the Dragoons. A couple more Dragoons do go down. So Turn is forcing Stats back right now, and Stats is just trying to buy time for his Reaver. He needs his Reaver, just trying to buy time for his Reaver and hoping that he can get it out in time. There it is. There's the Reaver. There's the Shuttle. Now all he needs is maybe another Zealot or 2 in order to get some Zealot bombs going, or just to keep his Reavers alive from some shots, and he'll be good to go to maybe try and defend this. Stats has been forced to retreat all the way back into his natural expansion, and right now Turn is peppering at his wall, blowing up a pylon. He's going to take down that gateway as well as others. And it looks like Stats, is he going to get aggressive with that shuttle, or is he just floating it out there? We got to watch where this shuttle is going right now. Okay, he is going to bring it back here for the defense. I was getting really worried there. And a nice Reaver shot taking out almost all of the Marines. Just a couple of Marines left, but there are still tanks going here. And here comes the Reaver right into the tank line, and he's going to try and use this Reaver as well as he can to try and take out... No! The Reaver does go down! Stats! Sloppy Stats! And he is going to lose that Reaver, and that may actually be game here. What else does Stats have going for him here? Will he have Eddie? They are going to pick off that first tank, and the Zealots are certainly going to be able to hold off the Vultures and the tanks for some time. And the Dragoons trying to pick off the supply depot. The supply depot not quite dying. There it goes. Finally it goes down, but the Dragoon's not able to get up the ramp to support the Zealots. Some more SCVs are going to go down, but he's not able to really get the really big charge up the ramp that he wanted. He was hoping to get those 8 Zealots with the shuttles as well as the Dragoons, and be able to start taking down some more tanks and perhaps even dominate that position and take out that base. Unfortunately, not quite able to do so. Jamie coming back in here with the shuttle, but that shuttle is too far dead to really risk jumping in there again. We have 8 factories right now for last, and it looks like we've got 7 gateways, so more factories out right now than gateways. on the map right now, and Jamie with that 4th base and now getting a 5th base is going to start macroing like a fiend. And there is a Shuttle. Looks like it's getting scouting information. I don't think he has a Reaver or a High Templar or anything. I haven't seen any of the higher tech from him. I think it's just wandering around being a threat and just being generally a nuisance. Yep, there it is. It's just Zealous being a nuisance. And we have some Vultures wandering around here. They look like they're actually heading towards the bottom right. It looks like he knows about this base going up, so he's going to try and stop it. Little does he know that there's already a 5th base down there, and that he's got a couple cannons to defend as well. So those Vultures are in for quite a rude surprise. They're going to walk in there right into the cannons. I managed to pick off just 1 probe, maybe pick off a second. Nope, not even a second. Not able to focus fire down any of the probes because there were some Zealots dropped at the top left. Well timed there by Jambi, so Last unable to split his attention effectively there, and only picking off the 1 probe. Goliath is out, is going to destroy that Shuttle, so that Shuttle should at least drop off what it has. So that way at least it's, you know, it's to use what it's got before it dies. 3 more gateways coming up here for Jangbi, so he is continuing to macro, is starting to get Arbiters out as well. And you can see him macroing very, very well. You can see he's got very little minerals, very little gas. And on the other side, it looks like Last is starting to build up a gas reservoir here. Maybe needs to consider getting some science vessels out, not only just because we know that Arbiters are there, but just because he's got a lot of gas, and not a lot of minerals should start trying to take advantage of that, and science vessels are an excellent way to do so in any matchup really, except for TVT. Oh, ooh, looks like we had a Vulture drop here. Didn't see that for a second. Vulture drop does come in here. Looks like they did pick off several probes, but Dragoons and Zealots able to react relatively quickly and able to stop that. A photon cannon actually being placed as well to try and make that less of a problem in the future. So JB starting to get his cannons up. We've got the 5 bases rolling, and Last is definitely in a a bad position here as we get going. And this bottom right base is starting to produce gateways, so we are going to have a double reinforcement route. Kind of a game starts to develop here, and that is always a problem for your Terran. For if you are a Terran and your opponent has that double reinforcement route, it is very, very difficult for you to really make a quality push. You've got to be very, very decisive and very, very quick because of the how many units that can come from a flanking position. Celeste really needs to keep that in mind. I actually would love to see Jamie go for a recall here. He knows Last has been very, very delayed in his game plan. His tank number's not where it's supposed to be at this point. At this point, Last was probably thinking that he'd be pushing out at about now. But Jamie, if he goes for a recall, this could be very effective to keep Last back just that much longer and let his 5 bases just continue to roll. Which obviously, 5 base on 3 base. If he can keep that rolling, he'll be in an even stronger position if he has just a averagely effective recall, which I would love to see. Observers spreading out across the map, trying to see if Last maybe took another base, just trying to investigate what's going on. And it looks like Last is trying to prepare for possible recall, throwing down some mines in his factories as well as in his supply depot lines. But Jamie just continue to macro up, maxed out now, throwing down lots of gateways there at the bottom right. So it looks like looking at the size of that blob, we haven't seen it. I'm thinking that there's probably like 10 gateways down there, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 gateways there. It looks like we got another... Looks like we got 21 gateways out right now for Jamie. I believe Best has the record with like 26. I think that's right. I think 26 is the record that Best set against Flash. I think he had 26 gateways in one of those games. So Jamie getting pretty close to that number right now. He's got a ton of gateways. You can see like the money just piling up right now. 4,000 resources in the bank as opposed to 3,000 for Last. So Last is doing very, very well as in addition to in terms of his resource count. And Jamie